Hey guys, it's Lita. How are you guys doing today? I am so happy to be here with you today. I have my desk is filled with plants. I say jokingly to my kids, I have a little grow show going on here, but I'm really excited to talk to you guys about sprouting and also some other indoor growing ideas. I got a little surprise here for you that I didn't talk about before. And everything I'm going to show you is super, super easy. Little bit about myself. I do not have a natural green thumb at all. I really enjoy gardening outdoors and indoors, but I'm not naturally good at it. So I love stuff to be super easy. Hey, Laura. No, I can't see your name. I'm not sure why. Silly Facebook sometimes does some updates or whatever. And I don't know, maybe you have to go in and do it again. I don't know. I'll see you on my iPad. I'm just going to find you up here. Excuse me. I'm honestly not sure why it does that. Here we go. Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay, gotta go back here. Yeah, so I was just getting ready to go on here, and of course there was like a little. Oh, now I can't get out of it. There was like a little glitchy thing. Okay. Sorry to do this on live. Hi, Facebook user. I have to try and find you on here. Give me 1 second. I'm not sure that I can. How do I? Oh, left? No. Right? No. Oh my gosh. I usually go into the groups. Oh, here we go. Nope. Nope. Oh, yeah, here we go. Okay. I get very excited when I actually do the thing I'm trying to do. So here, let me just go in. I just went into the wrong thing. Nothing like being live as you're trying to do something technical. Always my favorite. Okay. Let me find is live now. This should be it. Oh, Jan, hi. I did find you. Okay. Good. I got the right one. Okay. Now we're cooking. Okay, at least I can see. There we go. Okay. Now we're ready. Honestly, I don't know how these professional people do it. They must have like people or something because I don't have people. It's just me and my dog. Um, Anyways, I got you on here. So if somebody doesn't say your name, don't worry about it. I can see it on here. So, anyways, as I was saying, I do not have a natural green thumb. My sister, Lori, who is here, she has a total natural green thumb. She absolutely loves it. It's her passion, and she knows so much about gardening. I really enjoy it, but it doesn't come natural for me. And also, I like things to be like super easy, not a lot of hassle. I don't really want to spend the time to do it, in that way. So, hi, Tammy. So I have figured out some things that work really, really well for me. What I am passionate about is nutrient dense foods, anything that can really pack in those nutrients because I want to get the best bang for my buck. And so if I'm going to eat something, I want it to be as nutritious as possible. I don't like just filler foods or anything like that. Unless I'm treating myself and, that kind of a thing. But like generally, I like really, really packed nutrients. And this has been such a fun little project for me this winter. I've been kind of experimenting with different ways to grow sprouts. And then I started, like I said, going into this other indoor gardening type things, which I will show you too. And it's just been really super fun. And the great thing about this is that it doesn't matter if you live in a condo or you live in a one bedroom or you don't have a yard or anything like this. Everything I'm going to show you today is 100% indoors, and ideally you'll have a little bit of light, but you don't need direct light. It doesn't need to sit in the sun or anything like that. Like, I will tell you some of the places that I've been growing this stuff, and you guys are going to laugh your heads off because they're not your traditional, but they do not have to be like in the sunlight or anything. I'm in Canada and we still have like a foot of snow out here. We have hardly any sun at all. And I've been growing these bad boys all winter long. So that's what I'm saying is it doesn't matter your climate. It doesn't matter how big of a space you have. Anybody can do this, and super easy, which is my favorite. Farmer Lita. Yes, I was going to say, do you like my gardening outfit today? I wore it special. I was going to put my gardening gloves on, and then I was like, no, I don't want people thinking that this is hard gardening because it's actually super easy gardening. Hi, Janet. Hi, James. Hi, Tina. I'm so glad you guys are here. Okay, where are we going to start? Well, let's just chit chat for a little bit. We're waiting for some people to come on. If you haven't said hi, please say hi, because the more people that, excuse me, kind of chat on here, I think it shows more people on Facebook or something. I don't know. Still getting over this little hacky cough. I actually originally said that it's an old cough that kind of comes up and it seems to, flare up when I have dairy or whatever. And then I was kind of thinking about it, and no, it wasn't all the time. It kind of came up last week, and I was kind of feeling tired. So I don't know. I don't know if I was just kind of fighting off anything, but it certainly wasn't like a full-on illness or anything like that. And I feel fine, except for just every once in a while I have this little cough. So I do have my Halls just in case I need it. Okay, so let's just talk about some of the group stuff. So like I promised you at the beginning of February, which is tomorrow, I think, I am going to talk about our next challenge. And that's what I'm going to try to do at the very beginning of the month. I'm going to tell you what the next challenge is. And usually it's going to be 2 or 3 weeks after I start talking about it. So it gives us lots of time to get ready for it. Not that there's always something to get ready, but I just like people to have notice so they can kind of make their plans or whatever. And yeah, I'm going to try and do this on a more regular basis so people know what's coming on. So look for that in the group. I'm really excited for us to continue with our challenges every single month of the year. They're going to be different. I mean, there'll be some of the same, we'll rotate, but I'm saying every month we'll kind of take turns with different things. Sometimes there'll be something you'll enjoy and you want to do, and some you may not. So the timing might not work for you, whatever, but every month we're going to have something. So it gives everybody a chance to participate. And people are saying that they're just loving the consistency of it, that it's going to be every month, and they just feel so much better when they have this challenge to look forward to. Because even if it's 3 weeks in between our challenge, knowing that we have the next challenge coming up kind of keeps you just like a little bit more in check and a little bit in your groove, just knowing we're going to the next one. So hopefully this is going to help all of us in our journeys. Okay. Today we are going to talk about sprouts and some other things. The sprouts, the health benefits of the sprouts, how to grow the sprouts, where you can get more information on sprouting. Sounds like a community, a culty, but it's not. But it's really, really fun. So I'm going to tell you all about that and some extra bonus things that you can grow in your home as well. So let's start the show. Let's talk. I'm going to read from a little list here because, I never see the challenges. Hold on. Who's saying that? Someone just said, I never see the challenges. Okay, so, sorry, I don't see it on my iPad, but whoever said, I never see the challenges, I posted in the group. When I post in the group talking about what the challenge is, because I give all the details on the challenge, I always pin it in featured. If you remember in Facebook, it used to be called announcements. Not sure why. Facebook randomly changed that to the word featured. So featured is anything that the admin wants to pin in there that's important. So I always put it in there. So our group, there's little tabs on the bottom and they say different things. And one of the things that it says is featured. And if you click on featured, the last thing I pinned will be up at the top. So sometimes you have to scroll down a couple to find it or whatever, but that's where I pin it. I'm thinking about maybe doing something where maybe I email everyone, letting them know what the challenge is too. Let me know if that would be something you guys might be interested in, because if that would also help you to know what's going on, I can put something in the group so that people can sign up for the newsletter and then you'll get it sent that way. So let me know if that's something that might help you. Other than that, that's what I do is I put it in the group and I pin it in featured. So hopefully you can find that. Okay. Yes. So I'm going to read from my little list here because I didn't want to memorize it, the health benefits. Let's run through the health benefits of sprouts, okay? They support hormones and the immune system. And by the way, this is researched information, public information. I'm not making this up, but do your own research, okay? So don't just take my word for it. But this is what I found in the book that I'm going to show you, other books that I have read, and on the internet. Hi, Diane. Good to see you. So it supports the hormones and the immune system. It improves insulin resistance, and they're packed full of important nutrients that we really need. The one that really stands out for me, guys, is vitamin K. Vitamin K is super hard to get in the diet. Nutritional yeast is an awesome way to get vitamin K, but just naturally in regular food, it's actually really hard to get. And Dr. Berg talks about why that's so important, but I can tell you a couple things. It is critical for healthy bone growth, proper blood clotting, and many other bodily functions. Dr. Berg talks about it a lot and saying it's super important for us, but most people are really deficient in this vitamin. So that's kind of neat that this is, it's really big in that. Here's a list of the top nutrients that sprouts provide: calcium, magnesium, potassium, folate, beta carotene, fiber, and vitamin K. And they have much higher amounts of these than traditional. What I'm going to show you here are my broccoli sprouts. They're actually my favorite. I love the flavor of them. I've tried every kind of sprout out there, and they're all good, but broccoli, there's just something about the flavor of broccoli. And they say that it has like 100 times more nutrients in the sprouts than eating just regular broccoli. And I'm like, really? Now, I don't know. I didn't get so deep into it. Like, is it weight per weight? Like if you said 1 pound of broccoli, you would have to have 1 pound of sprouts because sprouts are so light. Sprouts are so light. So 1 pound would be an enormous amount. So I'm actually not sure where that data comes from, but all sources say that it is really, really nutrient dense. So that's what gets my attention. It supposedly helps balance blood sugar, which is great, supports good digestive health, and helps cholesterol. So increases the HDL and lowers the LDL. So there's kind of really neat things, and they're so tasty, so tasty. Let's talk about the macros. The macros are a low carber's dream, absolute dream. There is a tiny little bit of protein, like 1, but basically 0 carbs, 8 calories per a cup of sprouts. Cup of sprouts is quite a bit. And it's like 8 calories. So basically, like Dr. Berg says, 0. There's nothing to even count. I have tons of sprouts and I never add it to my tracker. I never, ever do it because it's really nothing. So, okay, without further ado, I'm going to show you my little grow show I got going over here, because it's like, I've been growing all this stuff. Now I kind of blew it a little bit with the sprouts in the jar because my timing was just a little bit off. But there are 2 ways that you can grow sprouts. So you can grow sprouts in water, just in a jar, like this. And you get a jar. You can do this yourself. You can put a nylon on here, just get a mason jar and just put like a clean little piece of nylon or cheesecloth or something like that. You can do it yourself, but honestly, you can get these really cheap on Amazon, and I like them because it's like hard metal. And you buy the sprout seeds, which I forgot to bring down. I get Mums, but there's lots of different brands out there. It really doesn't matter. And they're not expensive. And this in here is 1 tablespoon. And this thing will end up filling this jar like this full at least when it's all done. And all you do with the water sprouts is 2 times a day, you run some water in here. I go up to about here. I kind of swish it around and then you dump it out. And then you can either just lean it on something in your sink or something. But when I bought this, it came in a pack of 2. And it has a little tray and just like this little metal thing. So when you set, it's made on purpose for this. So when you set it down, any extra water, because it's not supposed to sit in water, but it's supposed to be damp. You set it in and the extra water goes out. So I do it in the morning first thing, and I do it like around dinner time. So 2 times a day I do that. And in approximately 4 or 5 days, they will be completely full. It'll be completely full of sprouts. So what I do is I start 1 and I have that growing for like 3 days, and then I'll start the second one. And then that way, like you're always rotating. But I didn't time it right because I don't know what I did, but I ended up eating a bunch and other people were eating them. And I looked and went, oh crap, I don't have any sprouts to show on Monday. So I quickly started this one on, I think I started it on Friday. So they're just starting to germinate. I don't know if you can even see it in there, but some little tails are starting to come in there, but not as much to show you as I'd hoped. So that is one way. Now there's another way to grow sprouts. And this is what I've been finding really interesting. And that's super easy, by the way. In the water is the easiest way that you can do it. This way that I'm going to show you in the dirt is obviously a little harder because we're dealing with dirt, but there's pros and cons to it. So let me show you my broccoli sprouts grown in dirt. Don't those look amazing? They're pretty much ready for harvest. And what I use are, do you know at Costco, they have those little containers that you can do your meal prepping with, or maybe they're takeout containers that restaurants buy and you get them in a big thing. Anyway, I happen to have those. And this is what I'm using, and it's working really, really good. So I just have some mixed dirt, you know, the kind that seed starter dirt. That's what you want, seed starter dirt. So it's really loamy, really nice and light. You don't want outside dirt because you can get bacteria in there and worms and stuff, which, you know, for outside it's great, but for indoor, that's not what you want. So I just got a bag of seed starter. And then what I did was I took the broccoli sprouts, and this is probably, I'm going to say this is probably 2 tablespoons worth. Maybe it's 3, but I think it's 2. I think I did 2. And you put it in a little glass of water and you leave it for about 6-8 hours, something like that. Rinse it out. And then I filled up my dirt halfway, and then I just dumped the seeds on top, and I just kind of, you know, took my hand and just kind of, you know, laid them on. And then there's a little trick to this. You take a piece of paper towel, you cover the top. Well, you water it a little bit. You water the whole thing a little bit so it's a bit damp. Then you put the paper towel on it. You soak the paper. I soak the paper towel first and wring it out and then lay it on the top. So you just want this moisture barrier on the top. Then you put it in the dark for 4 days, pitch dark, in a cupboard, just out of the way. It doesn't, nothing special, just as long as it's not really, really cold or really, really hot, just room temp anywhere in the dark. And you leave it there for 4 days. And then after 4 days, you just take off the paper towel, give it some more water, and now you're just going to put it in the light. And when I say light, I don't mean sunshine. I mean just any light. My kitchen has a little windowsill, and there's no direct light whatsoever, but obviously from the window there's light, and I just line them up there. And in 3 days, 3 to 4 days, it'll be like this. And I just take a sharp knife and I just go on the edge and I just cut it across, or you could use scissors or whatever. And I'll tell you, you might wonder, like, well, why would you grow it in dirt if you could just grow it in water? What is the difference? Well, I'm going to show you this book. This is what got me excited, because I only knew about the way to do it with water. That's the only way. And I've done that for years. I didn't know any other way. And so I bought this book thinking it was going to teach me a little bit about, you know, I don't know, different kinds of sprouts and, you know, the nutrients of sprouts or whatever. And then I started reading it. This one right here, and I will put all the details at the end of our talk in the chat so that you can see it. But Peter Burke, I just got it on Amazon, and he talks about growing the sprouts, as you can see in the picture below, in dirt. And his explanation is pretty good. He talks about the fact that you get more, and you do get more. Like when I grow the exact same amount of sprouts in water versus in the dirt, it's like double or triple, you're going to get out of the dirt. And also he talks about the nutrients, that the roots naturally go down to the bottom and they pull up the nutrients, and it all goes into the greens and stuff. He explains it better than I do. But in my mind, I'm kind of like, why not kind of get the best of both worlds? Because I know when you're having full sprouts, and you can look up all kinds of people on YouTube who will talk about the benefits of eating the whole sprout because you're getting the whole piece or whatever. But I think there's benefits to both. I really think that there is. And I also love the texture. There's a different texture to the one that's grown in the dirt. Now you might be wondering, okay, well, is that wasteful because you have this dirt afterwards? You have what's called like a root puck at the end. And if you see there, you can see all the roots down there. And I don't find it wasteful at all because after I have cut out all my sprouts and harvest them, I take this out and I kind of flip it upside down, and I've kind of got this meshy thing in my garage. And I set them on there and I just leave them and they completely dry out. Once they're completely dried out, I just break them up and crumble them up, and I just add them back to my dirt and I reuse them again. So it's totally reusable. You could also break it up and you could put it in your composter. You could also put it in your outdoor garden if you have it. But let's just say you're inside a condo and you have no access to any yard or anything like that. You don't have to throw them in the garbage. Just let them dry out somewhere and then you can reuse them again. So to me, like it is like recycling. But I have really enjoyed this. Like seeing these growing in my window ledge all winter has just made me so happy and really fun. And ways to use, oh my gosh, like obviously salads. But then remember I told you before when I said I like things really easy? Maybe we could say a little bit lazy. Sometimes I get a little bit lazy when it comes to making the big salads. And, here in Canada in the wintertime, sometimes, and with, supply chain issues, whatever, we don't always have the fresh vegetables or whatever. Sometimes I go into a store and there's not that much in there or whatever. And I started kind of using more sprouts and less of the other vegetables in my salad, to the point where my husband went out of town for 3 days and I was like, I don't really feel like making a big salad because he's not here and to help me eat it or whatever. And then I started using just the sprouts. Excuse me. So like I do things like I did have romaine lettuce. So I had a big romaine lettuce leaf, and then I took a huge amount of sprouts, and I had some leftover meatballs and I sliced them up and I put mustard over the top and I just like ate it like a boat or whatever. And it was so good. It was so good. Like another day I had tuna. So I did the same thing with tuna. I didn't even have romaine lettuce that day. So I just took a whole bunch of sprouts and just kind of like rolled the tuna in it and just kind of had tuna bites or whatever. Like they're so crunchy and they're so delicious. And I just can't say enough about them. They just taste so good. I just love them. What about you guys? I just want to ask you quickly, do you guys grow sprouts? Do you guys like sprouts? I was looking in my health food store the other day, and there was a tiny little thing of sprouts, like, that little plastic thing that they sell or whatever. Now, mind you, this was in the health food store, and so they were organic and whatnot, but they were $6. This is in Canada, so keep that in mind. But $6 for one little thing. Well, you know what? I should have done the math so I could have told you how much it would cost to grow this. And if that was 2 tablespoons, it was probably like 10 cents or something. Maybe with the dirt, call it maybe 20 cents. Okay, if you were buying something like this in the store, you're going to get, a quarter of this. Let's call it a quarter of this is what you would get. So financially, it is so much better to be doing it yourself, whether it's the water ones or whether it's the dirt ones. It is just, way, way cheaper. My sister said, I grow sprouts and love them on salad and are nice and fresh on scrambled eggs. Yes, scrambled eggs. Absolutely. It's really good on that too. There's so many things that you can do with them. Christina, just started my 2 jars of sprouts watching your video. Oh, yay. Well, sometimes you need a reminder. I too had grown them for years, and then I don't know what happened. I just kind of like stopped or whatever. And then something reminded me, and then I've been going ever since. And there's times, when I don't grow them, because let's face it, with these ones here, I'll tell you pros and cons. The pros are super, super easy. Could not be easier. The cons are you do have to rinse them out with water twice a day. And if you don't, they get kind of dried out. Sometimes if you catch it quickly enough, they can recover. A lot of times, no. And then you have to throw them away, start again. And so I find when it gets to the point where I'm traveling more or whatever, then it can get a bit much. When I go to the lake, I actually take them with me. So that's not really a big deal. But depending on what you're, like, say you go to town for work or something like that, I don't think you necessarily want to take it to the hotel with you or whatever you're doing. So it really depends on your schedule. So that would be a con, that you have to be on it kind of thing and just kind of know your schedule. I will say pros and cons of this. The initial start with this is, yes, you got to put the dirt in here. whatever. I got the bag in my garage and I have a measuring scoop and I just measure it in there. And then you got to soak the seeds for a little bit and do that. And then you got to put it in the dark for the 4 days and then you got to bring it out. But all in all, like if we're saying minute for minute of work, to me, this feels like it's way easier than doing the water sprouts. But they're both easy. They both are easy. But this one here is just, I find to be a little bit easier. But they're both super, super easy. Okay. I have a little bonus that I want to show you guys. This has nothing to do with sprouts, but it has to do with indoor gardening. And I've been really enjoying this too. And I thought with all you guys making all your salads and stuff, you guys would probably totally enjoy this. And again, you don't need a yard. This is totally indoors. I'm going to show you my indoor green onion little garden. Okay. Sorry, I got to lift it up and it's really heavy. Okay. Take a look at these. Now, mind you, they were kind of leaning towards the sun and I haven't clipped any lately because I haven't made a salad lately. So don't mind, they're kind of hanging. Normally they're a little more pretty, but anyways, you get the gist of it. Guess how I grew these? I saw this, I think on Pinterest. You know when you're making a salad and you've got your green onions and you're cutting and you got that little piece at the end with the root. Save like 1 inch and save the little root pieces and put them in a pot of dirt. So literally as I got them, I would just shove them in the dirt. So these were all planted at different times. Then whenever I need green onions for my salad, I just start cutting them and they will still keep on going. I have been using these all winter long. I don't even buy green onions anymore at the store because I have so much growing here and I just keep them growing. I can't actually fit in much more. I could probably fit in a couple more, but that's about it. So that's a really neat thing to keep, reusing for your salads and whatnot, and talk about a money saver. Okay. This idea comes from my grandma, Rosie. And she gave me this idea when the kids were really little. And she said that this was something that kept colds away. That was her remedy for the colds. This is my garlic chive little garden. And they look like green onions, but actually these are garlic chives. And they come from the garlic clove. So if you just buy one whole garlic at the grocery store, peel it apart until you have just the fleshy clove, right? All the little papery peeling stuff is off, and push each one tip down, doesn't matter which end, tip down in the dirt. Water it and watch it go. And it's the same deal. I'll cut it off. They'll keep going, cut it off, keep going. And the difference between them is that this tastes like garlic and the green onion tastes like onion. It's incredible. Now, according to my grandma, so this is not scientific, but she swears that this always kept her healthy all winter long. And her idea, and this is what I did when my kids were young, she said, and it was like a fun thing for the kids to do, she said, just take the garlic and just put them in your houseplants. Just stick them in your houseplants. You don't even need a special pot. Now, I don't actually grow regular plants inside because, as I told you, I like things easy and I don't have a natural green thumb. So my plants in my home are either fake or I have different ivies that grow nicely in water, and I just let the roots grow in the water, and that's how I prefer to do it because it's like no maintenance. But you could also stick the garlic in houseplants if you have houseplants with dirt. But yeah, these two things... There we go. These two things have been amazing for my salads and in my tuna and whatever all winter long. Now, where do you keep them? They don't have to be in the sun and they don't have to have, certain heat or direct sun, nothing like that. In my laundry room, I have this one tiny little window and I just put them on the window ledge in my laundry room. Okay, not even in my kitchen. These guys here, I do keep in my kitchen because I kind of like to look at them or whatever, but literally they could go anywhere that there's light. It could be in a bedroom, it could be in an office, it could be anywhere. So yeah, so that's been my little indoor gardening experiment this winter. It's been super, super fun. I've been really enjoying it. As I've mentioned many times, here in Canada, we have very long winters and I'm looking for something to do. It just gives me a lot of joy to do things like this. And like I said, I've tested out a lot of sprouts. If you want a home run for flavor, I highly recommend the broccoli sprouts. Everyone likes that. Another one that people like is alfalfa. You know, a lot of people like alfalfa. So that's a good one. But the broccoli just has like such a nice flavor. And the way that they grow, you've got these nice little kind of clovered heads or whatever, and they look so pretty in salads. And I don't know, they're my favorite. I have to admit, I have favorites. So I'm going to go back here. I want to know who does this, who's going to do this. If they haven't done this yet, I want to know. I want to know. Jan, I love sprouts on sandwiches, keto style. Oh, back in the day, Jan, my favorite thing in the world was to take a pita, cut it in half, and you open up the pocket, load it full of sprouts, and then I would put in, my lunch meat, my cheese, whatever, and mustard. That was my favorite. So, of course, now I'm not having the pita. You could, though. I mean, myself personally, I'm pretty much grain-free, and I don't do well with gluten or anything like that, so I don't have that kind of stuff. But if your tolerance is good and you can have that, I really don't know how many macros are in a pita. You'd have to look, but maybe one of those low-carb wraps or something like that. But yeah, it's really good in those. Jan, I will be doing all of these. Yes. Okay, I'm so sorry. I meant to bring down the little package. So the broccoli seeds, these are not like gardening seeds that you get at the garden store or whatever. If you just go on Amazon and just type in sprouting seeds or broccoli sprouting seeds, that's all you have to do. And you'll see all the different brands will come up. But Mums, which is MUMMS, I would say is probably the biggest brand out there. And I think they have really good value. You get quite a big bag like this. And in Canada, I think they're like $15 or something. And like I said, you're only using maybe 1 tablespoon for the water ones and maybe 2 tablespoons for the dirt ones. And those are the sprouting seeds that you're going to use. And they just have a little zip top, and I just keep them in my kitchen cupboard. And then when it's time to make more, I just like pull them out or whatever. Yeah, sorry. I meant to bring it down. I had all these things in the kitchen. I had to get hubby to, can you help me carry this stuff down? I'm going to drop them down the stairs. So I forgot the seeds. So sorry. Christina, I just put a sprouted garlic in dirt. Good for you. Good for you, Christina. That's awesome. Was it in like one of your house plants? Or did you have some dirt from something else? Because it totally works if you put it in house plants too. I thought that was hysterical. So here I was with like an ivy in dirt or something. Like this is when, kids were really little. And then all of a sudden you're seeing all these garlic sprouts while me being like, kind of OCD or whatever. I'm like, ooh, that doesn't look very good. So I was constantly cutting them down and putting them in stuff so that I didn't see them actually growing high. And then I kind of got out of it because I didn't like the look of it, but it totally would work. I like having a dedicated pot for it. I just like that. And I could add a few more in there too. But then I know that the little one is garlic and the big one is green. And I'll just, what I'll probably do? I'll probably use these all the way up and until maybe I start going to the lake a lot and I'm just traveling a lot more. And then I probably will pull them out and, just recycle the dirt or whatever. And then when fall comes and I'm, getting ready and I'm going to be home more, then I'll start them up again. So that's a neat thing about the sprouts in the dirt or the sprouts in the water or these things with the green onions or the chives. You can start them when you want, but it's not a life sentence. Like it's not like a house plant that always requires your attention all the time. You can just do it whenever you feel like it. And when the cycle is over, you're going to travel a lot or it's summertime and you just couldn't care less, then don't do it. Just don't do it. Use them up and then just put the stuff away and don't use it. So it's really nice that you can just kind of do it when you want. Dirt from a small tropical plant. I'll post a photo of it shortly. Awesome. That's great. Christine, I just got an email reminder for your products. Oh, well, that's great. Awesome. I was asking earlier on, somebody was saying that they don't see the challenges in the group. I was mentioning that I pinned them up and featured, but I was saying that would you guys like it if I sent an email out? You'd have to be on the email list, but all the email list is once in a while about the products, but most of the time it's my blog or something like that. Or Motivational Monday. I do send that out by email too, because sometimes people miss it in the group. But by email, I could let you guys know what the upcoming challenge is so that maybe it's just another place to see it. Because you know how it is. Sometimes you see it on email. Sometimes you see it in Facebook. Sometimes you see something on Instagram. Like it's just funny how we catch some things and not others. So it would be another way to let you know. So please tell me if that would be something that you would would like, or is it like, I get so many emails, I'd never notice it anyway. So just be honest about it. I'd like to know. Kim, I have celery growing on my window from old celery base. I got that tip from one of your other shows. Yes, I have done celery. I have also done romaine lettuce is another one. And I don't have anything to show you because I was growing it and then I kind of used them and now I have nothing to show. They are a little trickier. I don't know if you found that, Kim. I found the celery and the romaine lettuce to be a little trickier to grow, but not undoable at all. Like they're totally doable. They just require a little bit more. I found like I had to keep the dirt kind of evenly moist and I had to have it in kind of a really nice light location, but maybe that's just me. Like I said, I don't have a natural green thumb. So if there's a way to kind of like make something grow right, I'm going to find it. So Kim, yes, they are. Yeah, a little bit more finicky. But when we were in our really bad winter time, I was looking for a little bit more of a challenge. So I did try that. Back then. Let me go back here, see if there's anything I've missed. Broccoli seeds. Jan says she's going to be doing all of these. That's great. Just ready for furry finally? I'm not sure what that means. Kim, sorry. I'm not sure what that means. Okay, I'm going to show you the book one more time. And then I'm going to post it at the end so that you guys can see it. I do recommend this book. This fellow here is, I believe he's a teacher, or he was a teacher back when he wrote this book. And he got so into this sprouting. He just goes into so much detail. It's really interesting when you find someone who's so passionate about it, but he also explains it in a really simple, easy to understand way. I found it mesmerizing. I read it from cover to cover. He even talks about, how to compost your root pucks is what he calls it, those little pucks with the dirt. He explains the difference of, the pros and cons of growing water sprouts, and he even shows, here's a picture, since I wasn't able to fully show you, but there's a picture of the sprouts growing in the jar. See, he's just got it tilted in his dish rack there, but you can see the one on the one side is in the early stages and the one on the other side is totally full. So that's what it's pretty much going to look like when they're ready to go as water sprouts. So that kind of gives you an idea. But anyways, it's a really interesting book. It's not super big, and it's just really neat. And he ended up teaching classes on it. He taught a whole bunch of classes, and all these kids were getting into it, and all these people were getting into it and stuff. So yeah, I thought it was interesting. It was a really great project. Yeah. So that is what I want to talk about today, you guys. And like I said, I'm always looking for ways to cram in more nutrients. I just feel like, why not? Why not? We're going to eat anyway, so we may as well get the most bang for our buck, get a win-win. And if we can have a little fun at the same time, it's awesome. So I hope you guys, if you haven't done it before, I hope you give it a try. If you decide to do it, please post in the group and tag me. Say, Lita, look, I'm starting this or whatever. And if you have any questions, like right here in the video, you can ask me. But if you're like, say you're starting to go buy something or start something, and then, oh, gee, what did she say? Whatever, just post in the group, but just make sure you tag me and I will totally answer you. But I would just love to see more people getting into sprouting. It's really, really interesting. And you also, if you want for free, you can look it up on Pinterest. You can look it up on YouTube, probably Instagram too. But I find that Pinterest and YouTube, it's a lot easier to get the information. Things are explained a little bit better, I find. And so you could just type in how to start growing sprouts, literally how to start growing sprouts, something like that, and just see what comes up. And then you can just read what other people say. Kim, can you link where you got your safe dirt? I don't have to link it, Kim. I went to Home Depot. I just went to Home Depot and they just have bags of, it just says right on it, like seed starter. If you have an Art Nap in your area, any kind of a gardening store or anything, you probably Amazon too. You could probably get it on Amazon too. It's just seed starter. So what it is it's like sanitized dirt, right? So they've sanitized it And then there's probably a little peat moss in it and a little of those, what is that called? Vermiculite, those little white little things. That's why you see in some of my plants here, you see the white stuff. That's a vermiculite. And it's just the mixture that they put together so it keeps the dirt nice and loamy. If the dirt is heavy, compacted, so see, this was a mistake that I made at the beginning, is I had this other dirt in my garage and it was dirt that I used out in my garden, but I hadn't put it out in the garden yet, but it is meant for outside, right? And I thought, oh, that'll be good enough. Well, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was super heavy and it held the water too much. And all the seeds went like moldy and it did not work. And then I went back to the book and went, oh, Peter says. And so that's what I did. He gives you ideas in there. If you want to completely go from scratch, and you want to use like dirt and peat moss and vermiculite, and you want to do, he'll say like so many cups of this and so many cups of this, and put it in a Ziploc bag and add this much water, seal it up, it gets moist, whatever. Okay, again, too much work for me. I just bought the seed starter dirt, gave it a little bit of water, put the seeds on the top, called it a day, and it has worked amazing. Anytime I veer from that, it's never as good. So that is the easiest way to do it. So oh, good. All right, Kim, you're going to try all these. That's great. I want to hear all about it, you guys. Seriously, it's super fun and it'll help you get more greens and fiber in your diet. It's awesome. So anyways, you guys, thanks a lot for coming. It was nice chatting, and please tag me in the group as you're starting to do stuff. Okay. Have a good evening, you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Hey guys, before you go, hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit the bell notification so you can be notified every time we have a new video posted. Also, down in the description, I will have links to everything that we talked about in our chat today, including information on how you can join my Intentionally Bare Keto support group. See you next time.